What is a visioning exercise anyway? How do you write a vision for your life? Hi, I'm Zhaleh and I'm a career reinvention coach. I work with mid career STEM professionals who are at a point in their career where they feel stagnant and are considering creating their own career path that lights them up. I support them in taking the first steps toward this transition. In the previous episode, I talked about why having a life vision matters if we want to live a more fulfilling life. That when we know our deepest values and create a vision based on them, it gives our mind direction and allows us to spot the next steps that move us toward that life. We don't need to know the entire path, only the very next step, and the rest appears as we move. In this episode, I will introduce two different ways to approach a visioning exercise and also talk about how values are different from goals. Let's start getting into it. The first way of thinking about your life vision is visioning into the future. Let me walk you through that. If it helps, make yourself comfortable. Take a blanket and maybe close your eyes. Now imagine that it is a few years from now. Imagine that you are living the life you have always dreamed of. You don't know how it has happened, but you just need to know that it has happened. Let your mind fully imagine that future. Now, with that in mind, write about your life. Where are you living? Who are you living with? What are you busy with? What does your daily life look like from morning to night? Who have you become as a person? To help you with this exercise, I have created a visioning worksheet and I'm leaving the link to it in the description of this episode. Feel free to use it. Here, I want to talk about something important when it comes to writing your vision. If you found it challenging to answer the visioning questions I asked, it is pretty normal. Visioning is like a muscle. It gets stronger with practice. You can begin with big picture, general ideas instead of trying to imagine detailed specifics. Think about the qualities of the life that you desire. Qualities like peace, love, growth. For instance, I want to be surrounded by love. I want to feel financially secure. I want to have peace of mind. I want to feel alive and excited about my life. Do you notice that these qualities are general and easier to imagine? We can call these qualities our deeply desired values. Now, I would like to highlight how values are different from goals. Values are the qualities of being that guide your life. They reflect what truly matters to you, what gives your life meaning and direction. Values are ongoing. They are not something you achieve or finish or check off a list. They describe how you want to live and who you want to be as you move through life. Some examples of values include creativity, freedom, connection, and growth. Goals, on the other hand, are specific outcomes you can achieve. They are actions or milestones that express your values in tangible forms. Values are ongoing, but goals can be completed or checked off. Some examples of goals could be launching my website by February, taking a sabbatical to travel for 3 months, or calling my mom once a week. Why is this distinction important? When we think about our life vision, it's easier to imagine the qualities or values of the life we want to live rather than imagining specific outcomes. Creating our life vision based on values gives us more flexibility in how those values can be expressed or met. To make it more tangible, I'll give you an example. Let's say I really like traveling because I enjoy doing new things. So, the value underneath traveling for me is seeking novelty and adventure. In my life vision, I can write, I want a life that allows me to experience novelty and adventure. This open ended value can be met in different ways. Traveling could be one way, but because I'm now focused on my value of seeking novelty and adventure, my mind can find other opportunities for me to fulfill that desire. I may come across a dance class that I haven't tried before, and taking that class might satisfy my desire for adventure. So, when we shift our focus from goals to underlying values, we are giving ourselves more flexibility to find opportunities to fulfill those desires. And it becomes much easier to write a life vision based on values rather than specific goals. To support your visioning, I've put together a list of values, and you can find the link to the PDF in the description of this episode. The second way of approaching your life vision is a bit deeper and can bring up more emotions. If you found the first exercise challenging, this approach might help you access what matters most to you more easily. Instead of visioning into the future, we are going to go to the future and look back. If you're ready, I'll walk you through that. And again, I have placed this exercise as a worksheet for you to download, and you can find the link to it in the description of this episode. I'd like to invite you to make yourself feel comfortable. If you need to stretch any part of your body, move a bit, or have a sip of water, take a moment to do that. If you like, close your eyes and imagine. Imagine that you've reached the end of a long, meaningful life, and it's your celebration of life ceremony. I know this exercise can bring up a lot of emotions, and that's okay. Now, I want to invite you to write your own obituary. You can write your obituary from different perspectives: a spouse, sibling, parent, child, community member, or colleague. Write what you'd like to be written about you, your contributions, the life you lived, how you impacted others around you, and the qualities you embodied. How was that for you? For me, this exercise always brings up emotions, but it also really cuts through the noise and helps me reconnect with my underlying values. This second way of going into the future and looking back at life is sometimes an easier way to get in touch with what truly matters to us. I hope you have enjoyed doing these visioning exercises. When I started writing visions for my life, I started writing them once a year. Each time I wrote a vision, it became easier for me to do it again the next time. After a while, I started writing a vision twice a year. I ask myself what I want to experience in this year of life and who I want to be. I write about those values and qualities. For instance, this year, the three important qualities I wanted to invite into my life were contribution, joy, and continuing to work on myself. These three words were my direction for the year. Then I create actionable milestones every 3 months, milestones that are aligned with those values I named. A milestone could be creating content for my Instagram page, which would be a way to manifest my value of contribution, or going to dance events once or twice a month to honor my desire for more joy. And I trust that if joy is my North Star, my mind can spot other opportunities for joy and guide me toward them. I know this was a lot of information, but I hope that I was able to share why taking the time to think about your life vision is so important, especially when you're searching for more fulfillment. In this episode, I talked about two different ways of approaching writing a life vision. One is imagining yourself into the future. The other is imagining the future and looking back through the obituary exercise. I also talked about how values are different from goals and how, when we write our life vision, it's more helpful to focus on our values rather than specific outcomes, so we can give ourselves more flexibility in how we fulfill our deep desires. And just a reminder that I have created worksheets for both of these visioning exercises, as well as a list of values, and you can download them through the links in the description of this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, then subscribe so you don't miss future ones, and share it with anyone who may need it. If you'd like to talk about where you are now, where you want to be, and learn how I can support you, click the link in the description to book a 1-hour complimentary consultation call. Thank you.